with the city show. Woo. It get live with the city show. Woo. It get live
Yo,
with
what
the
up,
city
what up,
show.
what up? It's your man City. And guess what? I got some crazy news for y'all. The Live City Show is back. But we are now visual. And what this new day and age generation are popping all about and being all excited about? A podcast. Yes, I went podcast. But it's only right that I do my show where I start with my roots. And I said, if I'm going to do my first episode podcast, it's got to be with my first season, I'm sorry. It has to be with individuals that were along my journey in radio. And none other than one of my favorite individuals that was a co-host. We did so well. Our energies was perfect. You're going to get to see that today. I introduce you, Brooklyn's finest. BK in the building.
Brooklyn.
You know, it's crazy when even I was looking at going through your YouTube and your Instagram and stuff the past couple of days, I always go, Brooklyn, we go hard.
Right, yeah.
I know, I'm so corny. Brooke, what up?
What's going on, City?
How you been?
I have been absolutely phenomenal. How have you been?
I've been through it.
You've been off the scene.
But I don't look the way like I went through. I look
That's
good.
right. Your
I
test
came
is your
back.
testimony,
You know,
baby.
I came back like, lock journey and all.
Right.
What you been up to?
Same old. Doing radio. Still doing a dealer.
Okay, I
Still
remember
doing
that.
the mechanic shop. Now expanding, doing some bigger things in real estate school. So yeah, you know me.
So I mean, now my next property, I'm going through you.
Come on, let's go.
So, I remember when we first started, we was over at Hot Noise Radio,
Correct.
and we had some amazing other co-hosts with us. We actually had a lit show.
We did. I will
Energy
agree.
was phenomenal.
The scenery,
dope.
everything was dope.
Dope. And I know we kind of, growth in between. Everybody went their own separate ways, and
Right.
everybody's still going to do what they're doing. And I just think it's so dope that how actually we both started
Mm-hmm.
on somebody else's platform,
Mm-hmm.
and now we've created our own platform. Shout
Look-
out to Talk-ish Radio.
Okay.
And I remember when you came up with the name, because you kept saying Talk-ish, and that's when we were shooting, I think it was at AUMA, and we was by the airport at the time.
Right,
You
correct.
kept talking about Talk-ish.
Yes.
And I remember that was the day where we interviewed Mr. 2 Weeks Out. 'Cause
Yes.
the whole scene when everybody was talking about
Right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was kissing sucking his wife's toes. Remember I posted that?
Right.
So it's a journey, yo, just
Yeah.
to see. And then when I went there, I said, yo, I remember when you first posted it, and you were talking about it with one of my team, my partner, and it was around COVID. And that's the same time that when I was married, we launched Hits as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like the journeys both grew, and to
Yeah.
see that everything's still growing is dope.
Yeah,
Amongst all of that, though,
Mhm.
you got married,
I did.
you're still a mom,
I am.
you own a business,
Uh-huh.
you're a Black woman.
Amen.
How do you balance all? I got to keep the accolades going.
Okay, no, God.
How do you balance all of that out? And I mean, you got to have time for yourself,
Right,
for the kids,
right,
for your husband,
right,
for your family,
right,
your businesses,
right.
and just for yourself.
Well, first, let me shout out to my Virgos. Because if you're a Virgo, you already know how we do. There is nothing we cannot accomplish.
Okay.
The reason why we are who we are is because we give so much to everybody.
Okay.
We love to give. We love to help. Even when we don't have it in us to do it, we still do it. But you're right. How do I juggle all of this in literally almost a 12? It's 24 hours, but you're only 12 hours up in the wake of
I don't think
physically.
you get 12. You get like
It's
not even
hard.
24 hours. I think it's like
Right.
16 hours in a day.
Right.
You can lie for about the rest.
Exactly. Now, my husband still lives in New York.
Okay.
So I go to New York every 3 weeks.
And it's long distance.
Yes. We've been doing a long distance now 5 years. We got married 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I go to New York every 3 weeks. I'm leaving in the morning. I got tickets booked for the next 3-4 months because I make sure we gonna get our time in.
Okay.
My kids, my oldest is 25. She's doing really good with her life, and my son just turned 18. So I'm
Okay.
getting him off to college and getting him off. And I still got the youngest, which is 10. So she's hanging along with mommy. Between working businesses and just making life happen, it's hard sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes I have my moments when I want to cry and I want to break down. Like yesterday, I had a really bad day because life be lifing.
Man, capital letters.
Okay.
What a middle finger. in the
Double
middle.
what? With no lubrication. Like, take that.
Straight raw.
We being Diddy right now.
Oh my
Taking
God.
it all. Okay. Shouts out to Diddy. I'm just saying. But other than
I
that,
just don't
it's
want to
been
party with you.
yeah, me neither. I told my husband if he ever approach you, don't take that green or that blue pill.
Don't
Don't
even
go through
talk.
none of the doors.
Run.
Just be like, no, thank you, sir.
What they say? Dum 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 dum. Run.
Right. Period. But no,
Okay.
other than that, life is life, and but God don't give me nothing I can handle.
Touche.
Praise to the Almighty.
And I would say that was actually one of the struggles that I was dealing with being married, trying to balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because, one of the hardest things to do, I feel personally, this is just my opinion, to be a successful entrepreneur, you sacrifice time.
You do.
And other individuals don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a struggle in just dating.
Yeah.
Because, everybody wants that. Well, I want to see you today, tonight, right now, tomorrow. Like, I don't have it. I don't have the time to give. So to see you be able to juggle all that and balance it out and still get married and all kids doing kudos, man.
I appreciate it,
Bravo.
but I will say this: as far as marriage is concerned, the biggest key to a marriage is communication.
I'm a second that, but I'm gonna add another twist to it. Not only is communication key, comprehension.
Oh yeah,
Like 2 C's. Was that Chanel?
yeah, the double C's.
Yeah,
Communication and comprehension.
and comprehension
Yes,
is big. And I think even in my previous marriage, we didn't have that. We communicated, but
Right.
neither one of us wanted to comprehend because we were always right.
Mm,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's major
yeah.
because being able to humble yourself to hear somebody is a lot.
Mm-hmm. That little
Especially-
baby. Say that again.
Being able to humble yourself to hear somebody is a lot, and I struggle with that. And that's just the Sagittarius in me.
Right.
I think we call us a Sagittarius. But just to see your growth and knowing from when we first met, and I don't think you missed a beat. And I have to say, as a Black woman that's out here getting it and doing it the right way, because there is a stigma around women in general, not a color, that there's an easy way to get things.
Baby, say it again.
There's an easy way to get things. And I'll say this, y'all can go a whole year and don't pay for a meal. I'm not saying
Not
it's
all of
hard.
us women, but some of the,
Well, I mean, somebody loves everybody.
That is true.
'Cause
But intelligence,
Uh-huh.
comprehension,
Uh-huh.
and what you put out to the universe can make a whole difference in the type of person that you choose to feed and not feed.
Agreed.
But as you were saying, in this industry, yes, it's hard to be a woman in this industry.
It is. And,
Especially a pretty Black woman in this
and I've
industry.
had this conversation with a lot of Black women that are in the industry. It's like a lot of the doors close because they choose not to sleep with men.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or women, or whatever the case may be. It's some weird shit going on, but
Or not doors even closing, just women being too available.
Yeah.
To your people that come on, like you bring a man on the show. Yeah, men gonna flirt with me all day long. I don't do that. I don't mix business with pleasure. Even if I was single, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
But I do, and I'm not gonna speak on anybody. But I do know women that will have no problem sleeping with their guests. Or sleeping with whoever to get where they want to.
Great interview. Happy ending.
Oh, yeah. You want a happy ending? You want a happy ending? Yes, they will provide that for you.
But, when there's a lot of, I say the powers within, there's a lot of gatekeepers. There's a lot of key holders. And, they use that power.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, if you do what you want to do, never alter your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I've been truly blessed with is like, if you don't open the door, well, let me rephrase that. If the opportunity isn't presented, I'll create my own anyway.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I think we had in common, because everybody had rules and regulations to how they platform, how you're supposed to market them,
Right.
how to make them money.
Right.
I got tired of doing everything. I said, let me just create my own shit.
There you go.
And I was blessed to have an amazing team to create it with.
That's right.
But it's like, I think in our culture, I'm going to get so much backlash for this. We expect a handout or expect it to be easy. You know what I mean?
They think this is Burger King. They can have it their way. No, you cannot.
And it's like, at what point do you say, fuck it, I'm going to just do it myself?
Right.
And I will say COVID showed our people that.
That's right.
And when I will say watching so many entrepreneurs, Black women at that. That's why right now, predominantly entrepreneurship is ran by Black women. Like when you
right.
think about successful entrepreneurship stories, my
Mhm.
sisters is winning.
Mhm.
And you are one of those. So I just gotta once again say, yo, it's dope, and I'm very proud of you. Like for real.
Snaps. Let's get the snaps.
I'm saying.
But thank you. I appreciate
Speaking
that.
on being a Black woman in the industry, what
Uh-huh.
are some of the barriers that you faced of being a Black woman in entertainment or entrepreneurship?
Just being a woman in an all man's world. That ain't gonna never change. Unfortunately, being a woman,
Mhm.
being a Black woman,
Mhm.
being an attractive and intelligent Black woman, some men are threatened by that.
I can see
They
that.
seem to think that even in the car business.
Now that I do know, especially when we used to go to Manheim, I
Right.
used to have my dealership. It is
It is a lot, and people try to underestimate they look at you like, oh, you got blonde hair, you're pretty, you might be gullible. No, I have not one gullible bone in my body. I have a kind heart, sometimes too kind, but don't underestimate me and the powers that be. But I will say the most difficult part of being a woman in this industry, just in general,
Mhm.
is just we have to go so hard to prove ourselves so much more than a man does. And I'm sure we're going to get some backlash, but Taraji P. Henson is speaking up for the women actresses because they are the most underpaid actors and actresses in the business as women.
So knowing that, right?
Mhm.
Knowing that that is one of your barriers, how do you manage to know the value that goes with that? Because I look at it like, say you're worth 100,000, right?
Mhm.
Per hour. I'm
Mhm.
not saying your overall pack. I'm
Right.
just saying like, yo, the book Brooklyn is $100,000 an hour.
Mhm.
And the average person is like, I'm not paying her that. She's a woman. We'll give her $50,000.
Mhm.
At what point do you say, let me just grab this 50 so I could just add to my empire? Or do you be like, nah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna find a person that want to work with me?
Yeah, that's a key question. So many people will give in because they feel like, well, something is better than nothing.
Right.
You have to know your value. You have to know your worth. And if I know my worth, I'm not going to lowball myself because you feel like, why do you feel like I'm only worth 50,000?
True.
You could come to me, I could sell you a house. This house is 1.2 million, but the appraisal might say 900,000. What makes you think that I want to sell you this house and you want to buy it with 1.2 million, but it's only appraised at 900,000? Then I have to sell you on why it's 1.2 million.
Gotcha.
So my energy, myself speaks for itself. When I bring everything with me. I don't
They
just
say
bring a
good
pretty
dope
face.
sells itself.
Right. Exactly. You don't have to rebrand this. It's
Yep.
Pepsi. Pepsi is a brand.
No.
It's a brand by itself. So Brooklyn is a brand by herself. I don't have to go out here and prove myself to anybody. I love me. I'm comfortable with me. I know what I've accomplished. I know what I've done. So I'm going to keep doing me. And if you don't know, Google me. You Google Brooklyn's Finest along with the movie in the city of Brooklyn, you're going to see a nice 2-3 pages just with me.
Google.
Don't Google my network, though. Just Google me.
Let me see what my
Ain't none of your business. Okay.
my phone at. For the women that are watching or that you surround yourself around or just that you pour into, what is something that you would say, like, as a Black woman in the industry or as an entrepreneur living in Atlanta?
There you go. In Atlanta.
That alone is a whole nother battle.
Don't sell your soul. Your integrity is everything.
Okay.
Money is not everything.
Okay.
Know your value, know your worth, and stand on business.
Yo, shout out to King
for creating that logo.
He trademarked.
I hope he trademarked that too as well.
Because
so many people are getting. I think I just saw a movie or something that said "Stand on Business." I heard it in a movie or something.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I hope he.
It had to be a Tubi movie. Shout out to Tubi. I need my plug. I think that's really that's major, and that's something that I wanted to work on this year, next year, is the generations under us that want to be involved in this atmosphere. And having the platform that we have here at the location is, I don't have to, there is no gatekeepers. You know what I mean? And I think our culture gets so caught up in what a celebrity's doing that that's the only way to do it. Oh, you can't do you're not doing podcasts, you're not such and such.
Right.
Oh, you're not on the radio, you're not on this station. And it's like, once you understand even though they're on those platforms, it's not
Mhm.
theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a little puppet in the show or
Mhm.
a pawn on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie here, we're the directors, editors, executive producers, the whole nine.
Writers,
The
creators,
whole nine.
everything. Right.
When we come in that front door, our name is on the building.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Our name is on the lease, the whole nine. But when we get so caught up in who's who,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I want to be like this person. A, the sacrifices they made.
Right.
B, it's a program that goes with that.
Right.
C, you don't own your shit.
Right.
And I'll never forget when there was an FM station that was just starting. I forgot the name, Jesus Christ. But they were going to give me the morning show, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shut down before they even got past. They were waiting on all the rights and stuff like that. But the dude, they wanted me to change my name, right? They were going to give me a name so they can own the rights to
Of
that
course,
name. They couldn't
yes.
keep City no more.
Right.
It was some crazy, corny cornball shit. I was like, yo. And the money was good, though.
Mm-hmm.
The money was good, but it just was like, so what happens to everything that I've put in on this already?
Right.
Like, and at the time, who didn't want to be on FM? Like, let's be real.
Right.
But it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And then I just kept battling, kept going uphill with all it. And that's when I went full-fledged internet, and I was going from station to station to station. And that's something, no matter how many stations you've been at, it was never your vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when we was at Hot Noise, dope station, it was dope, but it could have been better.
Right.
And it was like, we had our own little touch that we could have put to it, but it wasn't ours.
There you go.
Now you walk in your establishment, shout out to Talk-ish Radio.
Okay.
It is you from the fruiter to the tutor.
There you go.
You know
From the paint on the wall to everything you see on the floors is from me, hard work from the rooter to the tutor.
And nobody can take that away from you.
No. And the one thing I will say is, shouts out to DJ Nabs, son. Shouts, that's my guy.
Oh,
So Nabs we interviewed Nabs.
Yes, we did. I remember.
AUMA Radio?
That was on AUMA.
Yes, we did interview.
Shout out to Nabs.
I stayed friends with Nabs to this day. He was my mentor. He actually really mentored me. He gave me my name to my show called Brook in the City when I was on Holly Unique Radio.
Okay.
And shouts out to Holly Unique Radio and Black. He's the owner. He was the one that pushed me to do my own show. Because I always been a co-host on someone else's show. Mm-hmm. And I remember him saying, Brooke, I think you could do your own show. I was like, I don't got that much to damn talk about. He said, trust me. When this is for you
can talk.
He said, if it's you'll figure it out. It's a process. You're going to be nervous. I was so scared. I didn't know how to do timing. You have to just everything about. But Nabs gave me the name. But when I left Holly Unique Radio, I didn't take that name with me. I still have Brook in the City. But because I got that name at that station, and even though there was nothing ever in writing saying that they could own the name because it was on their station, I just didn't want no feedback.
Right.
So I created Talk-ish Radio. You know what I'm saying? Talk Yo Ish podcast and Talk-ish Radio is a station name.
It's crazy. That was one of the things that I battled because, in my previous marriage, we came up with an internet station. It's 92.3.
Mm-hmm.
And, since the divorce, I battled even using the Live City show, but technically I had that before the station because we had that all the way back.
And
it was just so much tied to it because I poured so much connected with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I battled. That was one of the battles that I had with coming back to podcasts or radio or just doing content in general.
Right.
Was using the brands that I developed because there was so much attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the people around me was like, at the end of the day, that's your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Live City is a Live City. Like, that's something that you created along all the people that helped build that brand. And it's a list, you included. And I was like, you know what? I'm bringing it back. And I was at peace with it. Like, it wasn't like troubling waters if I really want to do it. I wasn't, And even coming today, I was nervous. Like, I shot to my team. I was like, I'm actually nervous today. And I was like, that's good. No, I don't get nervous. But I was a little nervous because it was like, damn, I'm doing what I love, but
Ain't nothing wrong with being. My husband is nervous every time he got to go on stage when he does live audience and he travels to Paris and he tells me I get nervous. I said, that's part of being humbling. You have to have that spirit. If you're never nervous, then something ain't right. Everybody has to be nervous. Yeah. But for us, this is like getting up and taking a shower. It's so.
A lot of folks don't do that every day.
Yeah. So, but when you haven't done it in a while. Yeah, it's gonna be nervous, but after this, baby, it's like riding a bike. You're gonna be gone. For the rest of the day, he's gonna be on 1,000. You ain't, and that nervous went right out the window when he said, "Hey," that went right out the window after that.
With that, you were speaking earlier about Black love and being married. Let's dab in
Right.
that real quick because
Okay.
I don't ever want to miss that when there is true love and showing our people that you ain't got to have 20, 30, 40, 50 relationships to be happy.
That's right.
And you show your happiness, and I love every bit of it.
Mhm.
I'm
Now, a lot of
man.
people don't seem to like it, but I love it.
It's okay. It's
That's
their
right.
loss.
That's right.
But love, like
Mm.
you said something, and you said that your husband has shown you something that you've never experienced in the some odd years that you've been on this earth. And that's something that I think is so dope because it reminds me of when I see those couples that are like 60, 70, 80, 90.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, yo, how did y'all do it?
Right.
And they say it so effortlessly. And they're like,
Yes.
love. And you be like,
Right.
well, fuck, where's it at?
Right. Especially in 2024. I
where-
feel sorry for y'all out here single and mingling.
And Atlanta,
Ooh,
Georgia on
in
top of that.
Atlanta. Y'all be better off finding somebody in Ohio.
Go to Nebraska.
Yeah. Colorado. Because love in Atlanta is hard. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not even 50-50. It's like 45% DL, 10% real men, the rest on other team, and then that's it. Y'all don't have much. You got 10%. 10% of love in Atlanta because it's just so much nonsense going on. But baby, when you do find your person,
hold on.
Baby, it's a different type of, I can't even express. You're not going to have great days. It's not going to be good days all the time.
I do feel
sometimes,
like if everything is always perfect, something's not right.
Right.
There's got to be some kind of mishaps because that's growth.
Right.
So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and that you have to be able to have communication. I've never had a man love me through the unsettledness and insecurities that I have within myself.
That's deep.
Okay?
Come on, elaborate.
So when I say that, as you get older women, you start to change. Baby, when I met him, I was at the prime of my life. My skin was popping. Everything was good. I was like, yes, queen. But in about a year or two, my pores started getting enlarged. I all of a sudden got melasma. You don't know what that is. Sun damage. I have what my husband calls them his chocolate chips. It's little dark spots that I have on my cheeks. And I look like I got a mustache on the top of my lip.
But he sees them as chocolate chips.
He sees them as his
That's all
chocolate
that
chips.
matters.
So I was forced to wear makeup. I don't like makeup. I hate it, but I had to learn how to do my own makeup because these makeup artists, they was charging.
Accent.
It's like a mortgage. I say, look, baby, I'm about to watch some tutorials and I'm going to spend $300, $400, $500 on figuring out what's the perfect shade and colors, but I'm going to figure it out. But my husband has loved me through every change, every insecurity that I have. Because even as Black women, pretty women, we still have a lot of insecurities about ourselves. When I wanted to cut my hair off, he loved nothing. He's never not loved me.
That's dope.
He's never changed his love, no matter what I went through, losing weight, gaining weight. I'm going through menopause now, which is a lot of women don't like to speak on. But I am 49, about to be 50 in August, and I'm going through perimenopause.
That's crazy. Real quick, my son's mom is going to be like, what the hell? Yo, like when I call and we have conversations, we'll be talking about my son. And she be like, whoo. I'm like, what? She said, this shit's hot.
Hot flashes?
I'm like, where you at? I'm at work. I said, well, I'm pretty sure it's cold in that office.
Right.
And she's like, this damn menopause ain't no joke.
No, it's not. It's a hard conversation to have because there's so many different things with menopause, losing your libido, being moody as hell. And my husband loves me through it all, but we communicate. Yeah. So when I'm feeling some type of way, or if I'm not feeling myself, or I'm in an emotional state, we communicate. So when I say I found my person that loves me through my insecurities, through my weakest moments, when I want to break and just don't understand life, he is my person. Like even now I'm emotional because that's just how much love between us.
Brooke, we had a lot. We talked a lot.
Yes.
A lot on the table.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me on Instagram at Brooklyn's Finest 347. That has never changed. You can also find me at Talk Yo Ish Podcast and Talk Ish Radio. And that is TALKISHHH Radio. So it's 3 H's in the Talk Ish. And my studio is located in Union City. For some reason, City feels like I'm going to be over here with him. But I will always pop in and pop out. Let me
tell y'all something real quick. Zoom in.
No, don't zoom in.
See, there's a thing, right? There's thing called just great energy, and Brooklyn has always been one of those with me. And even when let me tell you something, we've had our moments, but when City ain't on point, she will let me know, and that's why I've always respected Brooklyn. If City step out of line or City, yo, that's not right. Don't challenge the integrity of the show. Like anything that ain't right, she's gonna speak on it. But it's just something she said to me, so I got to speak on it. She's talking about retiring from radio, and that just ain't happening. But we're going to talk about that another day. The Live City Show podcast on IG, the Live City Show podcast, the same thing's going to be on TikTok, the same thing on YouTube. I appreciate everybody. Brooklyn, episode 1, season 1. We are back. I appreciate you for coming out. Y'all stay tuned for more. Guess what? I ain't going nowhere.